He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
All over Europe, all over England, all over the United States, just like communist China. Cops are beating people up. You videotape them 100 yards away. They come over and beat you up and charge you with assaulting them. You try to just peacefully videotape them. They come over and arrest you and charge you with attacking them. On video. You don't touch them. They just commit crimes right on video. Evil and corruption is now authorized. They are rewarded in most major departments for this now. Darkness is descending quickly. And then I see the very same case out of England. This cops drive down the wrong way of the street, park. Of course, this fellow had been ticketed before for doing a similar thing. He lives there, so he gets out and takes a photo, and the police run out, and the cop knocks the camera out of his hands, grabs him, slams him down, and then charges him with assaulting the officer with the camera. You know, every day I see a report about SWAT teams going to the wrong house. Every day. I'm not even looking for them. Every day. Now, I might not see one for 2 days, but then I'll see 2 or 3 stories in one day. That's about every day, where they go to the wrong house, not the right house, the wrong house. And you only hear about it when it's the wrong house. And they shoot the family, Chihuahua, Beagle, chained, Labrador. The dogs will run, and they will gun them down, shooting them in the hindquarters. I mean, these guys are the type that you take deer hunting, and they call it buck fever, and they can... I've known deer hunters back when I had a lot of time to deer hunt many moons ago. Well, I guess I went deer hunting again 2 years ago when I had time. But the point is that they would hunt for years in areas just full of big deer. Nice racks. They could never shoot one. They were great shots at the range, too. You know, they had a little range there at one deer camp. The great shots, but when they saw a buck, they'd start shaking, and it's the same thing with these SWAT team guys, especially in the middle-sized towns where they're really not well-trained. They just dogsy run, and they just, ha-ha! You know, I want to kill something. And they defend that. They defend the killing of the dogs. But then, if you yell at a police dog, you get jail time. I have seen at least 3 national attention stories. The first one was 8 years ago in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, Associated Press. I have the story memorized. I must have covered it on air 20 times. I'm covering it 21st time right now, or whatever it is, 50th time, I don't know. And the guy's walking through a parking lot, and a police dog, the window's down. It's in the summer, and the police dog's head lunges out, snarling and trying to bite him, and he screams, "Oh, my God, F you, dog." The officer's walking out, sees it, runs, grabs him, tackles him, takes him to jail. He was charged, he was convicted, and he was given, you can go pull the article up, I believe it was 2-year sentence, but I think it was cut down for yelling at a dog. That was called assault by the court. That's how fraudulent these courts are, what criminal jokes they are. Now, that just so happens to have happened to me 5 or 6 times, even 8 years ago when I first heard of that happening. I had that happen to me. I think it was in a Target parking lot one time with a big dog. One time it was even a shepherd in the back of a cab of a pickup truck. I'm sure it's happened to all of you. Most of you out there have been in parking lots. And the dog's asleep in there. You're walking in a restaurant. You're walking in the mall. You're walking in a grocery store. And all of a sudden, it's on a short chain, but over the side. And you're like, oh, my God, what? And then, yeah, I'm a primitive human. I scream back, you piece of filth. I'm just walking through the parking lot. You don't do that to a god's dog, because that a dog of King Zeus is a god to you. I've seen people get 20, 30, 40 years in prison for shooting a police dog when they send it into the house. In Houston a few years ago, they had this thing with helicopters and giant parades for some police dog. And the point is that they can hold 2 opposite, completely different ideas. Your dog is a piece of filth to be gunned down in the back. But their dog is a god, because it's about setting a precedent that you are beneath their animals. Next time I get the awesome police chief in here, I'm gonna actually print up some of those articles and ask him if a police dog's better than a human. I've seen cases of where a police dog just goes crazy walking down the street with cops and starts biting some innocent person, and the person kicks it in the mouth and is charged and gets jail time. Because they are officers. Police, when a cop gets killed, 90+% of the time, they hunt down who killed the cop and they go to prison and get the death penalty. I know the conviction rate's above 90%. When a slave human, a bond slave of the government is killed, they solve less than 10% of murders. So when a god is killed, they catch the mere mortal 90% of the time. But when a mere slave mortal is killed, they only catch him 10% of the time. Now, the police have gotten a little upset, and it's kind of like Robbie the Robot cannot compute. In California, in Texas, in Nevada, in Arizona, and New Mexico, where every couple days I read about a cop, an FBI, federal, state, local being killed by an illegal alien who runs back to Mexico, and Mexico won't even extradite him up here. And then in a lot of cases, they let them go if they're connected to drug cartels, because that's who runs Mexico. And the police are like, well, we can't have this. Well, why? When it happens to us, the dirt-level citizens, it's all right. I mean, I don't want cops getting killed. I think it's horrible. I wish no police were killed in the line of duty. Maybe they wouldn't be so militarized and crazy and act like when they pull old ladies over that they pulled over Godzilla. But I don't like your dogs being better than me. And I don't like you treating our dogs like they're worth nothing. I went to, one time for an Access TV show we did years ago, about 9 years ago, I went to one house where the police came in. The chained lab was in the kitchen, chained up on his bed. He growled at them like any dog would do, and they shot the dog a whole bunch of times, blew its brains all over the wall. I mean, I was there. I saw the brains. They'd removed the dog. And then fired through the wall wildly, and a bullet went through the wall and lodged 1 inch above the baby crib, just down off First Street, right down by the river. That was the Austin SWAT team. Just wildly spraying bullets when they come in the back door of some little hippie house looking for marijuana. God help us.